All right, let's get started. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another Codacy product showcase, the first showcase of 2024. And since our last update that we did last quarter, we've been working on some really exciting product innovations that we can't wait to share with you today. My name is Eloisa. I'm in the Codacy marketing team, and I'll briefly introduce the session before we begin. And joining me today that you see here are Codacy CEO Jaime Jorge, VP of Technology Kendrick Curtis, and last but not least, our lead product engineer Rafael Cortes. And they'll introduce themselves in a bit. We can just maybe go to the agenda and tell you what to expect today. We're starting with, we're going to be bringing you a few important updates and starting with how things are going with our Pioneers program and what is our vision for 2024 and beyond. Then we'll jump straight into your product updates and live demos with a special focus on major security updates. And then wrapping it up with what's next and Q&A. So before we begin, just note that we will be recording this session. So if you happen to miss any part of it, if you want to rewatch it or share with anyone, we're going to send a recording link right after this webinar by email. And how can you participate in the session? First, and the easiest way will be the chat. So don't be shy. Feel free to come and say hi, comment, and share your thoughts as we go here in the chat. But if you have any specific questions that you would like to ask to Jaime, Kendrick, or Rafael, feel free to hit that Q&A button at any point during this webinar, and that way it's easier for us to find your questions and discuss it live. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Jaime now.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. We have exciting updates to share with you today. And I'll start with some of the things that I wanted to share with all of you, starting with our Pioneers program. So in the last product showcase, we presented the Codacy Pioneers Fellowship Program. And since then, we've been humbled and excited to share that we've chosen 13 talented open source developers out of hundreds to join our 12-month program. And as a reminder, what our Pioneers program essentially is defined by is funding, mentorship, tooling, and also promotion. And we're really happy to have such an amazing, diverse group of developers with projects ranging from AI to education to art to cybersecurity. And so as one of the things that we are also now producing is, and for us is really important, is to tell the stories of the pioneers. And so we're producing videos and a few stories really where we're going to share the progress, challenges, and learnings of the pioneers. So please do stay tuned to codacy.com/pioneers. We're going to be telling their stories. So we're incredibly excited and humbled and proud of this. So I want to take a step back. And one of the things as we think about our vision and really purpose as a company that helps developers ship great products, we benefit a lot from thousands of interactions with developers as well as development teams. And it's really interesting for us to understand and to hear almost the same three challenges that they face when using developer tools. And so number one that we hear is siloing, is siloed tools. There are many different tools for different use cases, for different stacks, approaching or addressing different industries. And these tools don't talk to each other oftentimes. And they are oftentimes as well difficult to integrate. They're also noisy and require management. They're complex to run, requiring a lot of hand-holding to integrate and to make sure that they provide the best results possible. And last but not least, they're also expensive in both time and money, which in today's world is a really hard bargain. And so if you want the best security or quality coverage possible, you're going to spend some money. We at Codacy, we're firm believers that software development is truly a craft, that the people behind software nurture it with attention, detail, professionalism, And essentially, in a world where AI writes code, people who actually understand that shaping software is a craft will produce the best products. And so, with that context and with our belief, we are helping humans make better products. More and more, we think of ourselves as a toolbox for software artisans, where you can find everything you need to ship high quality, clean, secure software that works perfectly and delights users and customers. We think of you as developers that need choice and should choose the best tools for different jobs. So we're building with that in mind. We also expect this toolbox to grow over time. So really think of us as kind of a platform that will have the best tools possible for you to ship clean, high quality, and secure code. Let's actually look into a bit how this toolbox is composed. The first solution we brought to market was called Codacy Quality. It's called Codacy Quality. And its objective is pretty simple, is to help developers and development teams create clean, high-performing code, finding issues ranging from best practices, code style, basic security as well, fully integrated into the workflow. This is the solution we're most known in the market. But recently, we also helped many of our customers to find more and more security issues. And so we're building also a 360 view of security application that will range from different verticals. And we have quite the exciting news for you today to share as well about this. Coverage has always been a priority of our customers. Our customers want to monitor and enforce test coverage. Unit test coverage is just an important metric, and many of our customers use it as a heuristic for quality and high performing code. And last but not least, beyond just code and lines of code that people produce, essentially, is people and the engineering teams and how we're measuring and helping to improve the health of these teams. And so that's why Codacy Pulse exists, to help improve productivity and overall happiness of the teams. This is what's inside the drawers of the toolbox, and how we like for you to think of us is a platform to help you ship fantastic products. So beyond just a tool, we want you to get the whole toolbox, and that's what Codacy all about. So that's our vision. That's what we've been building, and that's how we've been focusing our attention, really listening also to our hundreds and hundreds of customers around the world. And we want to share tons of updates for you today. So without further ado, I want to introduce you Kendrick Curtis, our VP of Technology, who will today talk to you a little bit about quality as well as coverage. Kendrick?
Hey, thank you. Yes, I've got the roundup of everything apart from security, which Raphael's going to talk to you after this. I'm going to make a little bit of reference back to if you came to our last product showcase, then you'll see some updates from one quarter to the next, which is pretty exciting. We're going to kick off with performance. So I showed a version of this slide 3 months ago, showing how our customers really care deeply about performance. We have a whole team working on performance and reliability to make sure that we are continuing to improve and making Codacy go faster, basically. Give you more of what you are looking for as fast as possible. And in that update, I could share that we've gone from doing 82% of analyses in 15 minutes to 94%, from 50 to 75% in 5 minutes, which is big steps, but we haven't stopped. You know, that work enabled us to now actually do a bunch of tuning with our autoscaler, relax a load of constraints that let us scale way more effectively. And so now I'm very pleased to be able to show that in this update that, okay, the top line 15 minutes hasn't changed very much. We've still got a chunk of analyses that are that will fail for whatever reason, because it's too big or too complex or whatever. But everything underneath that metric, then, you know, going from 75 to now nearly 85% within 5 minutes. So all the ones we can consume, we're consuming ever more, ever faster. And we didn't even talk about completing stuff in under a minute back in September, but actually now we're making so much progress here that actually on a good day, a double-digit number of our analyses are actually done in a minute, which is huge strides from where we were. And we continue. You know, I will give you another update on this in another 3 months, and we'll see another set of numbers here that are all nicely ticking up green as we go on here as well. So we're very proud, and thank you to the team who's been working really hard to get past a load of really tricky bottleneck issues to enable us to scale this well. So that's looking pretty good now. The other topic we talked to you about last time was around coverage as well, building a new coverage pipeline, getting it out of the analysis engine, because that makes it really fast. And last time we were able to give you your status checks in your provider within a few seconds of you sending us the report, which was a great start. But now I'm very pleased to be able to say that pretty much your entire daily workflow now completes in that 3 seconds. So it's not only the status checks appearing on the provider, it's the summary that's getting generated on the provider. And if you click through from the summary to our beautiful diff coverage UI, so that you can actually go and find where in your code you actually need to add those extra tests to get you over the line to your coverage goals, you can see that near instantaneously as well. So there's only a few bits left now around the rest of the Codacy UI, around commits and files that are still coming from that old coverage integration into analysis that you have to wait a few more minutes for. But hopefully in your everyday work as a developer, you will just be able to go through this without even waiting for the minutes of the analysis engine that we've made faster, because this one runs in seconds. If you care about coverage, and I care about coverage, I think it's a really important and great metric for how well about the average quality of your system, then you can get those results really fast now. So what's next with this then is just that last little bit of work to get us over the line of getting those remaining pieces of results coming from our new engine, and then we can turn that off entirely out of the analysis engine, which will then give us another set of performance improvements on the analysis engine, because the analysis team won't need to worry about dealing with coverage. We won't need to be reporting it, saving it into database tables and so on. So we'll get another speed up in analysis by doing this work, as well as turbo fast coverage. If you've not set up coverage reporting on your system, then please do go ahead. It's pretty easy. You'll need to set your an integration into your CI/CD system to actually report your unit test coverage to us. There's plenty of documentation on the Codacy docs site, so do take a look at that to help you get started. Now, a few little smaller updates. I say we are doing so much at the moment. The fact that we now support Rust as a mainline language now counts as a little update, which I'm quite amazed about. But we now support Rust. It was a sticking point for us for a while that the Rust linters all want you to compile, and they all want to scan for dependencies. They all want to call out to the internet. We keep your code secure by not letting linters, static analysis, dial out from our engine, which was a challenge for Rust, but thanks to some work that Raphael is going to tell you about later, we're able to add a tool that can do Rust scanning within our current engine, and we're very pleased to bring you that. So go look in your organization policies, go look in your coding standards pages, and you can go and start adding support for Rust into your repositories. And the other thing, which really does count as a small update, we also will scan GitHub Actions now as well. So in terms of bolstering our sort of infrastructure as code, build pipeline monitoring stuff, then GitHub Actions will also now get checked for issues and misconfigurations, which is pretty cool. Speaking of GitHub, hopefully you've already got a message, but this is a little bit of a reiteration, public service announcement. As again, continued drive to make Codacy more secure for you as customers, then we want to stop using the SSH keys that we use to check for updates on your side through your provider, and then eventually be able to let go of the entire GitHub admin privilege that we take in the Codacy app for GitHub, because we shouldn't need it. We should only need content read to be able to get your code and check it out. And we're now on the cusp of being able to do that. So what that means for you is that you have a more secure system that doesn't rely on SSH keys getting published everywhere. But what we do need you to do is go and update your permissions in the GitHub Codacy app to allow us to take content read rather than admin. So we are downgrading the privileges we require so that we don't have to get in your stuff so much. You will need to do this because eventually we are going to phase out access to Codacy through SSH keys and that admin privilege. And at that point, then your Codacy installation will stop working if you haven't gone and accepted this update. So it's not a big deal. Go to the Codacy UI, go to the GitHub integration settings, and you can check it there. So, but please do that. We'll be having a brownout in February to remind everybody. Most people are well on the way to doing this anyway, but reminder, please do this. It's good for everybody. And a final little update on our IDE extensions, which is something I've been a champion of here for quite a while now. So we do have a new update to the VS Code IDE extension, which I'll show you in just a moment. But I'll also mention, as we get asked all the time, when are you going to do an IntelliJ one? Well, that is coming this quarter, probably mid-March, something like that, towards the end of the quarter, for the first version of our IntelliJ plugin, and it will have the same functionality as the original VS Code one, and then we'll continue to iterate and bring those together over time. I'm going to show you a tiny little update to the VS Code IDE. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and open VS Code. Here we are. So if you are familiar with our VS Code extension, then you'll recognize this. So here's your regular VS Code editor. Here's your Explorer window. If you've got Codacy, then you can click here and see our lovely circle graphic and find it. If you don't have Codacy, then you can find it under the Extensions tab. What you will be used to seeing is information about your pull request. So what we care about is making sure that your pull request is up to standards. So we will pull the information about your pull request from Codacy right into your IDE. So if you've got coverage problems, if you've got issues you need to fix, then you can find them right here in your IDE. So this is exactly what you'd be used to seeing, and you get to see your problems down here in the problems window in VS Code, and also sortable through here, and get your general duplication complexity stats as well. What we've added now is the ability to see all of the open pull requests in that repository. So if you as a reviewer need to go and switch onto a different branch to go and review someone else's, you can find it right here. You can see which ones are failing right here by going and just dropping it out, go have a look, and then you can right click and check out pull request, and then go and explore that in your own IDE without having to switch back either into Codacy CUI or into the provider itself. That's it. It's a neat little improvement, and like I say, the IntelliJ version will be coming soon. So going back to the presentation now. So that's the demo piece done. There's just a quick little note here. If you want to install the VS Code extension, again, find it on that extensions tab, or you can find it on the VS Code Marketplace website either. It's just a click away. And obviously we'll be in touch when the IntelliJ one is available. So that's it from me for platform updates for quality and coverage. So now I'm going to hand you over to Raphael, who's our lead product engineer in charge of our security offering, who's going to bring you the most exciting news. He's got the best job today. So Raphael, over to you.
Thank you, Kendrick. And hello, everyone. We have a lot to cover today, so I'm just going to start you. Let's get right started. I'm going to start with introducing our latest solution, Codacy Security, and our vision for the future. We'll deep dive into the integrations we've been working on, and finally make an exciting announcement. And again, we take another step back to look at what our customers are trying to do, and complementing what Shram has been talking about. Our customers are trying to ensure the security of their applications, complying with regulations. They're employing many different security scans to do this: SAST, SCA, scanning, and testing, and others. We all try to ensure the maximum coverage of our applications by looking at our code from the inside and from the outside. What we found is that the companies need to get multiple tools, often with overlaps, end up finding themselves without budget, coverage, and in tabel, just like what John was discovering. With Codacy Security, we want companies to have comprehensive coverage without needing dozens of tools. We also believe that security is akin to a fundamental right. So affordability is a principle that we're following from the start of this project. And we mean to provide this with our existing platform on quality, test coverage, and engineering performance. Today, it is a milestone for us and for our customers as we start providing a comprehensive, affordable, and unified security experience for teams of all sizes. Throughout 2024, we'll add support for 7 key pillars, 4 of which will analyze your code from the inside out, and 3 from the outside in, giving a 360 view of AppSec. Let's have a look through each of them, the ones that we've already delivered in 2023, and the capabilities that are available to you now. We start by looking from the inside out, scanning your code. And for a long time, SEST, or security code scanning, has been a part of Codacy's offering. We've leveraged the best open source linters and partnered with the best in the industry to help our customers shift security left with a simple and easy to use approach. Not that long ago, we started detecting infrastructure as code misconfigurations, also mentioned today already, helping prevent issues in cloud infrastructure. On the last of these showcases, if you remember and watched, we announced one more scan, the availability of secret scanning for passwords, tokens, and other sensitive hard-coded values. Today, we're happy to showcase extended support for SAST and USCA capabilities. So let's see what all of this means. As you know, SAST is important because it's one of the most effective ways to scan for security issues, such as cross-site scripting, or if it's SQL injections, and many others. You can find them as early as possible in your development process. And today we're talking about SEMGRAPH, which are SAST experts. They focus on creating the fastest and most accurate static analysis. They were actually just named a cool vendor by Gartner. And we just are happy enough to announce that we were able to partner with them. Through the new partnership, with just one integration, we're adding more than 2,000 rules across 20 languages, effectively strengthening our security coverage for C#, TypeScript, Java, Python, Go, and other languages. All of this is available with a one-click integration, which we'll see about more in a second. And for example, if you use Java, Go, another compiled language like Rust, like it was just mentioned, now for all these languages, where we previously required you to configure a client-side tool per repository, now you get the same rules in our cloud without any special configuration. Another big announcement is the addition of supply chain capabilities to Codacy. This is something that you should pay attention to because recent surveys found that up to 90% of applications are built with open source libraries, just part of the paradigm now. If you're not scanning them, most likely you're at risk. In fact, to cite Gartner again, almost 2/3 of US business were directly impacted by a software supply chain attack in 2023. Understanding what dependencies you're using and inspecting the code that you didn't develop is just as important to inspecting the code that you did develop and is a key part of securing your applications. As a Codacy customer, you now get insecure dependency scanning of open source libraries, both indirect and transitive. The most popular languages and backend managers are supported. I invite you to check our documentation to see if yours is. And I think it's time for us to now to look at this in action. So I'm just prepared a little something to show you Codacy finding this in the wild. So again, back to the IDE, the VS Code that Kendrick was sharing. And yes, just going to show you that I have Codacy enabled and installed the extension, but we're not going to use that screen today because the extension actually works just almost invisible without you noticing. But the view that I like to use most is the view problems. So I'm going to open that one. And the first issue that Codacy is highlighting is this deployment YAML file. So let's open that one and see what it is. So I was writing this CloudFormation file to deploy this service that I was working on, and I accidentally, while I was testing, left this secret here. Oops, don't tell Candy. But we can remove this and it should be fine. Another issue that Codacy found was in this pip file log file. And it seems that this Python library that I'm using requests for HTTP requests. The version that I'm using, 230, already has a security problem. There's an unintended leak of proxy authorization header. And Codacy is telling me to update to 231 to get rid of that problem. And we can do that easily. Let's check another issue. Let's go into the Python code as well. And let's check this line 9, where Codacy is saying that I have a non-literal value on an SQL injection. Okay, and seems about right. I have this value here, which is coming directly from the user, or it's controlled, or it put controlled by the user, and I'm concatenating that with the query. But I'm not that familiar with this Python framework So I'm just going to open the quick fix and see what Codacy is telling me about this issue. It seems that to fix this, I can just pass the values directly to the run function or use the prepare function to create prepare cell. Okay, I can fix that after the demo. And the last thing that I want to show you in the IDE is this issue here, which it's not a security issue, it's just a Python compatibility issue. But the really cool thing about it is that it's so simple that Codacy already identified the fix and is suggesting that. So with just one click, Codacy fixed the issue for us as well. And all these issues, they're not only available to the developer making the changes and not only available in the IDE, as always, they're also available within the Git provider. So I'm opening GitHub, the pull request page, and we can see that Codacy raised the same issues here. And here we can even go to Codacy and find the same issues there. So wherever is more practical to you, you can decide which one it's the best. And now I'd like to change gears a bit and show you how you can enable all this good stuff. I'll be walking you through the process of creating a coding standard from scratch. And for that, I'll go back to my organization, which is Codacy Security. I'll go to the policy sections, which is where you define the configuration for organization or for things that you want to apply to multiple repositories. And I'll select the coding standards option. So let's create a new one. Today, we're all about security, so I'll name one after that. And in my project, I was using Python. So here I'm being prompted to choose which language I was using. I'll pick that. Now, you can probably see that there are already a bunch of things enabled, a bunch of rules. And this happens because Codacy suggests patterns for both code quality and security. We look for the best bundles provided by the open source community and use those to create the recommended patterns. Right now, I don't care about the code quality issues, so I'm going to take those out and eliminate that noise, keep only the security ones. And to do that, I'll come here into the patterns list and deselect all patterns, disable them all, go into the filter, select security, select all patterns, and enable them all. Done. Now we just need to go over the same process for the other tools. And I'll skip that for the demo. I don't want to bore you. I'll just highlight that for Triffy, the tool that's providing secret detection and insecure dependency scanning. It's also enabled. The final step would be to apply this to my repository. I'll click next for that. So the showcase repository that I was just showing in the IDE is showing up here, and I'll select that. What this means is that these rules that we've just selected will be used in future analysis of existing code and new code that's produced. If you still don't have a coding standard, please reach out to your customer success manager. They can help you create one and set up other key integrations, other key configurations. And it's really important for you to unlock the value of Codacy. The last thing that I want to show you while I'm demoing is the configuration as code use case. If you're already using a linter configuration file, or you don't want to use our UI to configure these settings, and you'd rather have them on your repository version along your code, you can do that. The linter configuration files will be picked up and detected, and we'll use those instead. It's really up to you what you want, how you want to use it. And now back to the presentation. Yes. So to recap, we just looked at all the ways that Codacy is scanning your code from the inside out with SAST, IAC, secret scanning, and SEA. So now we need to look at what we have planned for 2024, which is the outside in. And while the previous scans types were meant to help you prevent the issues from being introduced in the first place and ever reaching production, these next ones will help you identify in the wild and zero-day vulnerabilities while your application is already running. And we start with DAST, the Dynamic Application Security Testing, which is vital for accessing web app vulnerabilities in real time. It identifies potential threats by automatically simulating real-world known attacks. Next, we'll be looking at CSPM, or Cloud Security Posture Management, which will identify misconfigurations, compliance violations, and other potential risks in cloud environments, just like IAC scanning, but with real-time monitoring of your environments. And finally, pen testing. And penetration testing refers to probing and simulation of real-world attacks performed by human to uncover vulnerabilities in applications. And this is where we have another exciting announcement of this showcase, is that we're partnering with Target Defense and Bulletproof to provide pen testing services to our customers. So what does this mean? It means that with the Codacy Pro subscription, you get the peace of mind of an additional scan, the reporting required for regulation compliance, affordable pricing with an exclusive discount, and the ability to see unified results back into Codacy. With Crest certified testers and more than 7 years in the industry, Bulletproof has a proven track record of finding flaws and helping businesses stay ahead of hackers. They are trusted by Payment Sense, which are Europe's largest merchant service provider, Autoglass, and the UK government, just to mention a few examples. So if you're interested in this and you have a pen test coming, be sure to go to codacy.com/security and schedule your pen test today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's announcements and are excited as we are. So now we'd like to hear from you. And so which of these scan types are you most excited to get with Codacy? Eloisa, do you think that we can get the poll up on the screen?
Yeah, we will need a few seconds for this one. It's not showing up, but hold on.
Henrik, do you want to talk us over about the other improvements that we have upcoming for the Codacy platform while we set up the poll?
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just a little taste of what's next in Codacy over the next quarter, what we're working on right now to be able to talk about when we come back in April. As you've heard, security, and we'll be doing more and more on security this year because we've got this full spectrum security feature set to build out, which I'm super excited about, which Raphael is leading so capably. Performance, as I said, we're not going to stop on performance. We're continuing to batter away at making things go faster and better for you every week. And the coverage pipeline as well. As I also mentioned, we will finish that off, transition over to the new coverage pipeline, get all the benefits from that and from slimming down the analysis system. But we also have a team now looking at reviewing our whole user experience now, starting from the very beginning of onboarding and initial configuration of making that whole process as easy and nice to use as possible, and reusing as much of that in terms of not just onboarding absolutely brand new customers, but like when you're going to add a new set of repos, you want to set up a new coding standard, what does that look like? How do we make that as easy as possible for you to get it to engage with as possible? So that's what's coming up. Do we have a poll available?
Yes, we do. Sorry, you give me a couple of more seconds because it's here, but it's not launching. But 30 more seconds and we'll be right back.
Shall we take the opportunity to answer some questions?
Yeah. Good job through the Q&A. Let me see.
The top one seems like my sort of mag. Will you integrate with more IDE platforms? So when we say IntelliJ, that's really a shortcut for all of JetBrains, right? So the whole JetBrains suite, not just IntelliJ, but PHP Storm and PyCharm and whatever the other 20 they have there are. So it will be JetBrains and VS Code. Once we've got those done and up to a nice standard, then we'll start considering those two are fundamentally the vast bulk of the market of IDEs that people use. Are we going to do a Vim integration? Probably not. Sorry. We might, for instance, do Visual Studio one because that's a completely separate from Visual Studio Code. And if there's enough interest, then we can for sure look at that. And if there is a particular IDE you want us to do, let us know in the chat because that's useful and interesting information.
So we're ready for our poll. Apologies for the glitch, but we're ready for the poll now. Maybe if we go to the poll slide, I will launch this and it should show up. Okay. You should see a poll in the front of your screen. Please take your time, take a few seconds to vote. So yeah, the question is, which security scans are you excited to get with Codacy? Any of these, all of these, none of these? Everyone has voted, so I will be ending the poll and just give everyone 5 more seconds because I know it wasn't a lot of time.
Full disclosure,
Okay.
it's not allowing me to answer, so there's no way for us to.
That's true.
Big
Panelists can't answer, so there's no way for us to influence results here. So ending the poll, and now I will share the results with everyone.
So that
Most
would be
people voted all of them.
Followed by secrets and a tied system test. Interesting.
But then the nice thing about the secret stuff is, I mean, it's out there right now, and
Mhm.
it's, through the Trivy tool, it's literally one click to turn it on. So if you haven't done already, go enable secret scanning. It's dead easy.
Shall we pick another question in the meantime?
Should we go
Yeah.
for the questions?
Yeah, I think we can answer this one about pen testing. Who does the actual pen testing? Bots or human? Codacy or bulletproof target defense? So pen testing, as it works, or I will be providing, it's going to be provided by humans, although the humans will use manual techniques or a mix of manual techniques and automated probing, but it's going to be humans. We're considering that anything automated will fall under that. And who is actually going to be performing the pen testing at the end of the day is Bulletproof and Target Defense. They're two different companies, one in the UK and US. If you have a preference for which one delivers the service, they're the same company.
Great. We also have a question here about, will these new features be made available for self-hosted customers? And so as time goes by, we're becoming more and more cloud first. We're putting all of our attention and dedication, building the best product possible for our cloud customers. It's also one of the key differentiators between us and competition. And so we don't have a time at this today for when these features will come to on-prem. We continue to support as much as possible on-prem customers with everything that we've made available. But we're trying as much as possible to help our customers also migrate to the cloud environments. We now have a question: can I get a penetration test today, and how?
Yeah. So if you need a pen test by today, we're still aligning the final details to be able to provide it. But if you have a pen test for coming weeks or months, be sure to reach out to us. Go to the website codacy.com/security and leave there your contact information and when you expect your pen test to happen or when you need it to happen by. And we're confident that we'll be able to provide a competitive offer to any existing pen testing provider that you have.
Yeah, if you've got a CSM, then obviously you can get in touch with them directly as well.
We now have a question that I think is absolutely great to ask at this time, and very, very fair to ask, which is what to expect for existing customers. Do we need to upgrade? And I kind of following what Rafael was describing, which is exactly follows the company's vision. We believe that security is a right. And so we want our customers to benefit as much as possible from all these tools that we're giving. So beyond the extra cost, for example, for pen testing, we're giving all of the tools that we described today as part of our customer subscription. So there's no extra cost included here, with exception for the enrollment of pen testing, which would be part of your subscription. Anything to add here, Rafael and Kendrick?
That's it. At one point, all of the features that we've been mentioning are already available in your Codacy subscription, so you can go and enable those and start taking value out of them.
Another question here. Do I need to
Yeah.
upgrade to a SendGrab account to use it within Codacy?
So no, you don't need an additional SendGrab account. We're providing some of SendGrab services within Codacy, and for that you don't need anything. If you'd like to get SendGrab's more advanced rules that provide interfile analysis, so among and finding patterns among different files, for that you would need a SendGrab account. And while we're still developing the partnership for that, you would need to get a SendGrab subscription, but we hope that in the future we can provide all that value within the Codacy platform. But for the answer today is no, you don't need a SendGrab account. You just need, like we've shown, go into your settings and enabling the SendGrab scanning.
And the last question we have here is, when will real-time feedback come to IDEs when developing, rather than needing to open a pull request or commit?
Yes, this is the dream, isn't it? So right now, what we're able to provide with the IDE extensions relatively rapidly is to pull stuff from our cloud engine, right? So we can pull the answers that we've already calculated in the cloud and bring them onto your machine. We do actually have a CLI tool, Codacy Analysis CLI. If you want to run certain tools by hand from the command line, you can do it. It's quite slow, and we'd really like to be in a position where we're able to provide you with a good quality service in the IDE, rather than just putting a very slow wrapper around this existing CLI process. So not yet is the answer. We're concentrating on the advantages that we can bring you rapidly. And being able to gate PRs in the cloud is what helps engineering managers bring consistency and quality throughout the whole process, make sure that everybody is running the tools. If you could run Codacy on your IDE, there's not actually any guarantee that you will run Codacy on your IDE, right? So we want to help make sure that we're, particularly for security concerns, gating everybody at the same level at the PR to keep everybody safe. So sorry, not yet. Would love to.
Any further questions that we can answer? Look, I just want to say thank you, not only for the team that organized this event, but also for everyone at Codacy that has been responsible for bringing you these updates. We work tirelessly to help our customers to develop better software that is clean, secure, and high quality. So from everyone at Codacy, we're humbled to count with your support and interest. And thank you, Codacy team, for your dedication to our customers. So let's wrap this up now, Eluisa.
Yes, so just a few last notes before we go is our upcoming event. So if you're interested in joining another webinar, especially focused on security, educate your teams on the importance of code security and discuss the balance between innovation and quality, we'll be doing a webinar February 14th in partnership with Lead Dev. I'm going to drop the links in our chat right now so you can join. And also coming up will be Developer Week. Developer Week 2024 will be held in the San Francisco Bay Area. So if you happen to be out there around that area and you want to chat with our team, set up a quick meeting, or just come say hi at our booth, make sure you follow this link in the chat as well and book a slot with us. We're excited to see you. And the next product showcase, as you know, we're doing this quarterly. So the next showcase will be in April. At a date and time to be defined. But if you are interested in joining, you'll receive a link to this as a follow-up email to this session today. So make sure to expect a link from us, and we hope to see you at the next showcase, if not sooner, in person, virtually. But yeah, we have a lot of events going on. Hope to see you sometime soon. So I think this is anything else from our panelists? Okay. Yeah, so this is all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for interacting and sending all of your questions. We hope to have answered all of them. But if you do have more questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with us on Twitter, at Codacy on Twitter or LinkedIn. We're always open. Thank you, and see you soon.